United States, about 120,000 people are waiting for an organ transplant that could save their life. That's about equal to the crowd at Michigan Stadium. But when an organ becomes available, only one single person in that sea of humanity can be saved. Just one. Like George, who's been waiting for a liver for a year and a half.
He was the star of a compelling video by the University of Michigan, putting a single face on the agonizing wait of 120,000 people.
Now, the good news in the story is that George did finally receive that life-saving transplant, but not the way anybody could have expected. Our own Dr. Frank McGeorge is here with a pretty incredible story.
Well, it really is, Karen and Steve. You know, George spent nearly 2.5 years on the transplant list, all that time growing sicker and sicker. Time was frankly running out. But when the call he had waited for finally came, it wasn't from the hospital. It was from someone George had cared for who never forgot him.
George has been my dentist since I was probably 14, maybe 13 years old.
Over the years, dentist George Magulik made an impression on David Shadowski, and when liver disease finally forced George to stop working, he was upfront with his patients about why.
George wrote his patients a lengthy letter in detail about his condition, and I was saddened by it and always held on to that letter.
As time passed, David had no idea how sick his former dentist had become. George says he never gave up hope, but
there were times that I said, Julie, to my wife, this is not going to happen. We just don't have enough donors.
He lost 70 pounds and suffered extreme fatigue. Twice, doctors thought they had a liver. Neither worked out.
That was heartbreaking for me.
Then one morning this fall came the call.
He said, my patient called me, you're not going to believe this, but they have a friend who's on life support and they might have a liver for me.
Heading back to college, West Branch teenager Evan Kimball had been critically injured in a car accident. Evan had signed up to become an organ donor when he got his driver's license. David is a friend of the Kimball family.
They informed us that Evan was a donor and asked if we knew anybody that would be in need of an organ.
David instantly thought of George.
I told the Kimballs he's just a good man.
It's called a directed donation. University of Michigan transplant director Dr. John McGee says they're very rare.
Directed donation probably represents less than 1% of the total donation that happens.
It has to match both in size and blood type, and that's a rarity in itself.
Against all odds, Evan and George were a match.
Dave always said he had a lot of respect for me, and he had kept my letter. And so he said he wanted to make this happen.
It was a truly life-saving gift.
I think he was really in the last couple weeks to months of being able to still be a good candidate to receive a transplant.
David is quick to shrug off any credit.
I was the messenger in all this, and Evan's the true hero. And his parents will say that he was the selfless one, not us. But I think they failed to realize that they raised that boy to the man he was.
George and his family are forever grateful to Evan and his family.
He had to be an incredibly amazing young man, and it has to be an incredibly amazing family.
Our heart goes out to them. Just gave us the gift of life, and all over again, our family. We can't thank them enough, and thank Evan.
David himself joined the organ donor registry after receiving George's letter, one of many motivated to do so.
That's a miracle, and you know, miracles come true, and people need to sign up and become donors. And I mean, you can't take your organs with you.
I'm doing fantastic now, just almost beyond good. Was extremely humbling. So I often tell my colleagues and my friends, be nice to your patients.
Now, Evan donated 5 of his organs, 4 of which went to people that were connected to his family in some way. Gift of Life Michigan says that ties the U.S. record for the most directed donations. In fact, countless others were actually helped by Evan's donation of tissue, skin, and corneas as well.
Wow. Now, I know Evan's family has joined the crusade. They want everybody to sign up now for the organ donor registry.
Right, and in fact, they have set a goal. Evan wore the number 4 when he played baseball, and his family has set the goal goal of registering 4,444 people by the anniversary of his donation, which is next October. And if you would like to help honor his memory, we put a link on our website. Click on Detroit.com. Just head to the health page.
So important to be a donor.
Save a lot of lives,
Yep.
yeah.
Can't take it with you.